everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Watch or Not with Jay and MJ. I'm Jay.
I'm MJ.
You know, we have a new home. We have a new podcast home.
I know.
You guys, exciting. So, we're using Podbean, which was great. You know, it's fine. It was great. It was fine. It was great.
They met all of our needs.
But then we found out that Anchor bought Spotify bought Anchor, and I like new shit. So
it's like we always talked about maybe trying Anchor, but it was always kind of like a third party, and the reviews were a little mixed. But now that Spotify owns them, I think what was missing is going to be good.
Yeah. So we have a new podcast home.
Yeah.
Everything else still is going to be everywhere where it normally is, but we just this is basically just how we upload our stuff. I don't even know why we're telling you all. No, here's the reason why. So if you have Spotify, go ahead.
I was going to say, because we can now add questionnaires on there. We can actually add interactions for the people. And I think it's per episode. It's not on, like when you go to Apple, it won't be at the bottom of like the library. You have to go into the episode. But we can add interactions of like, what do you think about this episode? Would you rather? And put some options and kind of have like polls. So you can have that on each episode, and we can set dates or just have it as always running, whatever you want. But look for that now. When you go into the episode, scroll down past or right around where the reviews are. You might be seeing some interactions or questionnaires we're putting out to the people listening.
That was really fast. Are you okay?
How
much coffee have you had this morning?
So yesterday we actually went to one of Emily's craft fairs yesterday, but it was an hour away, and we had to check in at 7. So we were up at 5. But as we know, the game that we've been wanting to play came out, so I played till like midnight. So I had like 5 hours sleep plus a full day of travel and work, and so I'm just now like getting to where I was kind of catching up on sleep. But I had all the sugar for breakfast. I had French toast.
Yeah.
So it might show.
Good for you.
Thank you.
But I know he said scroll, it's past the review section. If you have never left a review, do not scroll past that review section. Leave a review.
Yes.
And then go to the questions.
Good point. I didn't even think about that.
We'll track you down. I don't know how.
We have analytics.
Excuse me. So, yes, that's out of the way. Do you know what I watched yesterday, other day, 2 days ago?
What'd you watch?
I watched Power Rangers Once and Always on Netflix.
Power Rangers Once and Always.
Oh my God, how do you not know about this?
What is this? It
is the Netflix movie with some of the original Power Rangers in it.
I didn't even know about this.
How dare you?
Okay, hold on.
It's so basically what they've done. And we all know, like, everybody knows who Power Rangers are. Like, I don't care who you are, but you know who Power Rangers is.
Emily wasn't allowed to watch them as a kid.
But we know who they are.
She knows, yes.
So I made the remark that I find it funny.
Whoa, Billy got old.
And weird that the Power Rangers, even though it's the Power Rangers is like the one thing that actually has a connected universe that makes sense. Like, they did a better job than Marvel and DC of making sure all their universes actually made sense. Which doesn't make any sense to me because it's like, it's the Power Rangers and it's like, weirdly shit acting and stuff like that. But their entire timeline universe all makes sense.
Sorry, I got sucked into the video I was playing. There's a comic book that goes along with it that fills out the universe more.
Right. Like, how do they keep it? How do they do it so well? Because like they've just, for 30 years, they've just had it all lined up the way it should be. But regardless, this one was just like, it's like an hour long. And I think the plan, is it Jason David Frank?
I believe.
The Green Ranger was supposed to be in it. I think it was written to have him in it, but obviously tragically committed suicide.
Jason David Frank, yes.
Yeah, tragically committed suicide. So
it even quotes as archive footage when they.
Yes, because they used because in one of the episodes, or not one of the episodes, in one of the scenes, they're all fighting, and I know Amy Jo Johnson's voice. I know her. Ha! I know what she sounds like, and I know what Tommy sounds like. I know what Jason sounds like, and they definitely used archive footage for their voices because they were obviously morphed. And are you going to listen to any of this I'm saying?
I'm watching because I'm literally looking like as they're morphed, you can tell it's not the same body build, so you would assume it's not the same voice. So the voiceover they're using from the archive footage would need to be used to kind of convey that they're still the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was actually written into it. I think they had to change the script because obviously what happened.
So is it just the original cast?
Not all of them, because
I didn't see the Yellow Ranger.
I don't remember why. Well, Twee, what's her last name? Twee Tran, I believe her last name was. She passed away in a car wreck in like the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Because I knew that Tommy, the Green Ranger, came out, or it was MMA, and he was kind of like a fighter, but he's been in a bunch of different like offshoots of Power Rangers throughout the years. Jason's still alive. Billy is now openly gay in real life, and I don't know if that translated into his character.
No, so like the people, so
they kept the same character build for most of them.
What?
Like they kept the same characters. Like everybody came back and played the same person they were.
No, that's where I'm going with this.
Go on.
So, so obviously Twee Tran, they act like she's there in the movie, but they obviously, this isn't a spoiler. They find a way to kind of kill her character off in the little movie because obviously she's not there.
Okay.
But Amy Jo Johnson played the Pink Ranger. I don't know the specifics about that, but people asked why she wasn't. I believe the interview she gave, she said, I didn't say no. But she also didn't say yes. So I don't know what that means. And then the guy who originally played Jason,
yes,
Austin St. James, I think it was a legal thing that kept him from being able to be in it.
Okay.
So those two, their morphed voices were used. And when I say voices, it's literally, they don't talk. It's all like the ha ha ha. That's it.
Okay.
So that's why those three, the guy who played Tommy, Jason, and Kimberly, weren't in it.
Okay.
But every other one that I remember from the 90s, like obviously Billy was in it. David Yost, Zach was in it.
Yes.
Whose name I can't remember. Walter Jones, I believe.
Okay.
The second Pink Ranger, Catherine Sutherland, I believe.
Yes,
is her
that's
name.
who it was.
And then we have Aisha. Aisha shows up in this, who was the second Yellow Ranger. Adam, who was the second Black Ranger. And Adam. Rocky, who was the second Red Ranger, also shows up in this.
Okay.
So most of them are there, which is really cool. The original voice of Rita Repulsa, she voices Rita Repulsa in this. So it really is like, now.
Do they have Lord Zed?
Ask me if it's good.
Is it good?
It's horrible.
I went back and watched like a couple episodes. Like that's one of those ones like let it live in your memory. I didn't know like the original. Like I watched them. Like, I was watching them on like, because I leave my TV on when I go to sleep and I have a sleep timer. Exactly.
So I was watching them as I was falling asleep, kind of going through them, a little bit, and I was like, God, this was shit.
It really wasn't great.
But I loved it.
But I loved the Green Ranger when he first came in. That was my series.
See, I would have given Justice too, because for me being a gay, Justice, like, because everybody assumed Tommy was the hot one. I'm like, you know what? You go back and rewatch this. Jason was the hottest Ranger. He was the hottest.
I don't remember him from the original.
He was the hottest. Like, there are many moments where I'm like, this man is so much better looking than Tommy. And when Tommy came in and they were trying to have this like competition between these two, I was like, okay, out of the hotness competition, Jason wins. Like, he's the hottest. He is.
We're not gonna have any pictures on Wikipedia.
It's Austin St. James is his name.
But from what I was looking at the decade, like when was he?
1990.
Okay.
Or you just type in original Red Ranger, because like he was the original Red Ranger. But he always looked better to me, regardless of that. And like that's what he looks like now, but look at him back then. I mean, like he's gorgeous.
He's definitely attractive.
And he's got and then Tommy's just like, I think Tommy just was too skinny and tall for me. And Austin St. James, it was two different bodybuilders. Because Austin St. James was more of like he's more of a muscular, like obviously muscular dude, and Tommy was more of like the tall,
lean.
Yeah, very lean. And I to me, but we got off subject. But yes, it's horrible. It's not good. They have some girl playing Trini's daughter who's like a bitch. like she's shitty. And I mean, I'm like, I get it. Your mom died in the movie, whatever. But she was a piece of shit. Like this little girl was a piece of, and I was like, and I joked that.
Oh no.
I joked that the casting people were like, we're casting for Trini's daughter. Okay, it's got to be, obviously she's got to be Asian.
Obviously.
Of descent.
Obviously.
And that's fine. And then they saw all these girls. And then they saw whoever this girl was. They were like, her acting was probably a 2 out of 10. Let's pick her.
Oh my God. Because she met the mold.
We're sticking with the theme. We're sticking with the theme here.
Okay.
The acting is not going to be above a 4.
Fair enough.
So we can't have these good she's too good. This one, She's just bad enough.
Well, here's the thing. We can't have this child actor show up our returning adult actors who are playing the Power Rangers.
And the returning adult actors were actually pretty good. Like, they were pretty good. They weren't bad.
I need to go back and watch from when the White Ranger on. I feel like that's when it got a little better. Anywhere.
I'm telling you that because I tried. Because I was like, you know what? Because what came after the original Power Rangers was they had the Ninjetti.
Yes.
Which I believe it goes into. But then after the Ninjetti, it goes into Zeo.
Is Zeo next?
Zeo's nowhere to be found. Can't find it streaming anywhere. I think Turbo's out. You can't find Turbo anywhere, which I skipped Turbo because Turbo was fucking stupid.
The movie got you interested, and then the show let you down.
The movie did not get you interested at all. I went on this whole thing.
It brought back Jason and Kimberly.
No. I'm telling you,
in the movie,
I researched this.
Go on.
Maybe in the movie because
in the movie they brought back Jason and Kimberly.
I am not gonna allow you to say that I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm gonna say that I don't know.
the Ninjago movie where they brought like Lord Ooze and they got their powers and they like went.
That was the original movie.
That was the good movie.
Yes, I know. So I went looking for it, and I was like, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, oh, there's the Turbo movie, and I was like, I remember this one. I'm gonna watch it. I got 10 minutes in, and I forgot that they had that Blue Ranger that was a 10-year-old. I was gonna ask that when he morphed, he blew up into like an adult person.
Exactly. Yes.
And I turned it off because I was like, this is bullshit. And I was like, I know Mighty Morphin Power Rangers isn't that great, but this is bullshit.
We never questioned it when we were kids, did we?
I questioned it because I don't remember anything about Turbo.
No, that's the one thing I always remembered was the fact that they get to the boat in the movie and is it Colt? What's his name? The kid.
Colt is from Three Ninjas.
I know, but it's the blue. What's the kid in the?
And he had a blue like thing.
He did.
Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily. I need to watch that. It's been a while.
But no, like they pull up and the blue car pulls up and they're like, Billy, and this little kid who you know sure as hell ain't ever driven a car pulls up in this vehicle and they're like, who are you?
Yeah, I don't remember Turbo. I do remember right after Turbo, I believe was Space.
So okay,
and then I think it was Space, and then I think it was Dino Force, and then that's where I fell out.
So I remember, and maybe they just grouped this in as part of the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Weren't there a group of like aliens that had to live in water, and they came and helped fight? Like they were Power Rangers from a different planet, but they talked like they were speaking, like they can only like talk because they had like gills or something.
That might have been a mini,
like a spinoff.
No, I don't know if they call them in when you had like that might have been a mini. I don't want to call it mini series, but that might have been one of those things where during the actual season of the show there was like a 5-part thing.
Yes,
that might have been that, but I don't remember that.
Because I mean, I
do remember them being on a different planet at some point, but I don't know if that was it.
Okay,
but that's within the show. It's not from the movie.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, like, regardless, Power Rangers once and always, if you want to, like, be nostalgic or if you also want to, you know, look at a shit film, it was fun to watch. It had its moments where I was like...
I might have to give it a little bit of a
You have to watch it. Like, it's 55 minutes. Like, watch it. Like, honestly, like...
it's not bad.
It definitely gave me some moments where I was like, oh my God, this is bullshit. This is shit. This is shit. This is shit. But I love it. It's that.
But I love it.
It's that.
Fair enough. So, nostalgia.
Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. But what are we doing next?
Party of 3.
Yeah, explain it.
So our Party of 3 this week, because of the show we're watching, is Hulu original Unprisoned. We decided to, and please make sure I say this correctly, to pick our 3 favorite Black-led television shows.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, that's the general gist of what we're picking this week.
Offended.
Why are you
offense?
I'm
kidding. No,
I feel like one day you're gonna duel me. You're gonna come in here with like a glove and be like, "Sir, offense."
No, I would never do that because I cheat when I fight. So,
are you a biter?
I'm not gonna bite anybody. I'm gonna pick up the heaviest thing in the room and throw it.
Okay.
I'm picking up a brick. Like if there's a brick around, I'm picking it up.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'll make sure if I ever have to fight you, not to have bricks around.
Like we people when you were kids and people were like getting a fight and it's like you're a cheater, that's a punk move to like pick up shit. I'm like, no, it ain't. Did I win? Who's on the ground right now?
Exactly.
You on the ground right now.
You're that guy who
I'm still here.
You're that guy who after you would win, you would clap back and be like, look who won. Stay on the ground where you
No,
belong.
I'd probably be like, no, I wouldn't clap back. I'd be like, whew, I'm glad I picked up that brick. like I'm not cocky. Like when it comes to fighting and stuff, I am not. I know that I'm gonna be on the bottom. I know. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna win this unless I cheat. I just feel that.
Fair enough.
So, but am I gonna feel ashamed for cheating? Am I gonna allow you to shame me for cheating? No. I picked up this brick and now you're on the ground.
Look, all is fair in love and war, and I figure every fight is a war.
I mean, I don't know about that. That's
how I think of it.
I'm just trying to protect myself.
No, fair enough.
If there's a switchblade on the ground, I'm gonna pick it up.
Are you gonna throw it?
If I could.
You're not gonna just keep the knife on
first, because I feel like that's more weight behind it. You know, if you close it and then throw it, that's like a little silver. That's like a metal thing, just like hurling at your face.
Yeah, I mean, it would hurt if it hit.
You know what I mean? Like I said, a brick, a stone, a rock. What else can you pick up?
Lots of things.
A trash can. I don't know, girl. I don't know.
A glass. I mean,
Let me throw a Yeti cup at you. I'm throwing whatever.
Whatever I get my hands on, I'm throwing it.
Exactly. I'll throw my keys at you.
I'm not throwing hands. I'm throwing things.
Wallet, chapstick, shoe. Well, the shoe's probably worse. You probably can't really get that. Party of 3.
I was gonna say, who is your? Let's let you go first. What's your first show?
Y'all see that? Y'all see? Hey, we're doing black TV shows. Why don't you go first? You see this? Do you all see this?
Nobody saw nothing.
Was that what you were doing? Were you doing it to me? He's so worried about being like racist, you guys, and he's not.
No, I just go ahead.
I love this.
I'm the lighter skinned of the two of us.
So for me, it's kind of, I think when I started thinking about this, I think I realized that how there are in my brain, it feels like there's a lot, but I know there's not a lot. I just think that we span such a large, black-led TV shows span such a large like genre. So my first pick was really more of like a nostalgia pick.
Yeah.
And it's problematic. I know that it's problematic, believe me, because of the actor that's in it. But I have to say Cosby Show.
I knew it was going to be one of yours.
I have to. I mean, for me, it's like, okay, if we're separating, art and the fact that Bill Cosby is a crazy person and also a rapist, convicted, and obviously belongs where he belongs in jail.
I thought they got out.
Oh, did he?
I think he got released.
Well, but I cannot deny that the Cosby Show did the damn thing.
I just watched a scene on TikTok, and because I never watched the Cosby Show, that was before my time.
You never watched the Cosby Show?
I've seen like an episode here and there. I've never like sat down and watched it.
There are just a few. There's the big fun episode.
And the scene that I just saw the other day on TikTok, which made me want to go back and watch, was the one where, is it Theo, the son?
Yes.
Was sitting down and he was like, I'm not going to college. I'm just going to get a high school degree and going to go to work. And he said like, okay, let's talk about this. So you have your high school degree. You're making $500 a week, blah, 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 blah. Or like a very small, like $500 a month.
Oh, yeah. This is the one where Theo has a cutback for everything.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just a funny scene. I was like, okay, I could get behind that.
The best scenes were when Claire decided to like get some bullshit. Because what I was going to tell you to watch.
Yeah.
Vanessa was the... Wait, they had 4 fucking daughters.
They had a lot of kids.
She was the middle kid. She was like the third out of the 4 daughters. And she decided that she wanted to lie and go out of town to a concert. And I want to say she drank, but I don't remember. Actually, there's still 2 different episodes. One, she went out of town for a concert. The second one she got in trouble with, she drank. But Claire, when they found out that they would pick her up, Claire like flipped her fucking shit on Vanessa. And she was like, who told you that you could go out and do this? And Vanessa was like, well, she's like, don't you say shit when I'm trying to ask you questions. And she's like, it's like a whole, like Claire was the best. Claire was like the mom. And the fact that you saw this black family like in the late 80s, early 90s where they were obviously well off. Like Claire was a lawyer and Cliff was a doctor, OBGYN.
Yep.
And that was like, it was aspirational, but it was also, I think, just a really good show to a point. When the kids left and they brought in Cousin Pam and all them, I was like, nah, I'm out.
That's, I know I know the general gist of the show. I don't know who you're talking about with the cousins. I don't know any of that.
Cousin Pam came in out of nowhere because at a certain point, the show was really kind of, because you got to think they had 7. Was Theo the only boy?
Yeah. The only boy I remember was Theo.
They had 5 kids. They had Sandra, who was the oldest. They had Denise, who was the second oldest. They had Theo, who was the third oldest. They had Vanessa, who was the fourth, and then they had Rudy.
And Rudy was the favorite of everybody.
But when Rudy started to grow up, they brought back Denise with her husband and their daughter, who was smaller than Rudy, Raven Simone. Enter Raven Simone.
Who played Rudy? Random question.
She was I can't remember her name, but they brought her in. They brought Olivia in, played by Raven Simone, to kind of bring back the cuteness factor.
Exactly.
But then after that, they started getting these cousins, and I was like, nah, that's what I start to lose at. Keisha Knight Pulliam.
Okay.
But yeah, Cosby Show.
Okay. So, and this is where I think I missed out on some of the older, like I never watched The Jeffersons. That was too old for me.
Yeah.
Cosby Show was kind of a little bit, I was coming in on the end of it. The first one I really sat and watched, and this is the one that really.
Like coming in, he meant crowning.
Oh, funny. Coming into the world.
That's true.
No, it's true. But the one that really resonates with me, that from my childhood, the first Black-led TV show was probably Family Matters with Steve Urkel and Carl, and I just love the family.
Have you seen the new commercial where they've brought back
Carl, the dad?
Yeah,
and he's and like the dad's saying the same thing.
TV Dad, yeah, I love that.
Like, oh, thanks, TV Dad. Like, I just said the same thing. You'll understand when you have kids.
Yeah,
that's my son.
I love that that they're bringing him back. Yeah.
But no, I just like going back and remembering like that Urkel had the crush on.
Oh God, what was her name? It wasn't Lisa.
No, Lisa was the wife. Because Rachel was the aunt.
Was Aunt Rachel.
Yeah, who owned the diner. And then you had Eddie, who was the dumb friend of...
I know, I'm with you.
Of the brother. I can't remember the kids' names.
Yeah.
But like Eddie was the chef, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that he's the chef, and Rachel had the diner.
Restaurant.
But the episodes stand out, where Urkel made the Transfigurer, who like he would put in the DNA of like Bruce Lee, and he'd come out as like the fighting one. There were stupid premises, but I always got a giggle out of it in the later seasons. But I don't know, I loved sitting down and watching it, and the interactions you had. Seeing that, Carl actually kind of enjoyed Urkel, even though he really got on his nerves all the time. But looking at who the characters are now and how they would have been cast, because it's based in Chicago. That's a very upscale house for Chicago. Like, I can't imagine how much that house they live in costs now.
Well, it was 1990s too.
Exactly. But Carl was a police officer in Chicago, which I remember only being a plot point. I remember maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Which I'm like, nowadays that would have been a big plot point. Like the show definitely, you can see how it's dated for the time it was in.
Yeah.
But I loved sitting down and watching Family Matters.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would have to say my second would have to be very recent, and that's Insecure, which was created by Issa Rae. And to me, I think what took this a step further for me also was the fact that it wasn't just a Black-led cast, it was a Black female-led cast, which is really, really cool when you have Issa Rae, you have, I'm not going to remember anybody's name, Amanda Seales, you have the lady who played Kelly, who was also in season 1 of White Lotus, and then you have Yvonne Orji, who played, Issa's best friend. But that show, to me, was really, really cool, really, really groundbreaking. It was just a really good show. I think it actually also kind of lines up with, some of the, I don't want to call it coming of age.
Yeah.
But I guess it kind of is in a way. It was kind of like I don't even want to say it's the Black Sex and the City, because it wasn't. But
I've only seen one episode.
If it was the Black Sex and the City, it will be a more clever, to me, more clever kind of version of that, because these women are really just trying to like learn.
So is it a group of like 4 women similar to Sex and the City?
It really focuses on Issa and her best friend. Why can't I think of?
I'll have to go.
It's Molly. Issa and Molly, really. And then their other 2 friends played by Amanda Seales. And yeah, pull it up. I can't remember now. Oh, Natasha Rothwell plays Kelly, and Amanda Seales plays Tiffany. Those 2 are in it, but they're not like in it.
Oh, so just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I mean, when you think about it, they're probably in most of the episodes, but it's a little up. But
I mean, about half-ish of what's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just remember that show it was just a really, really good show. I really enjoyed it. I like how, I think every show kind of has like a little bit of a dip in a certain way. Like I really think it dipped at like end of season 3, season 4, when Issa and Molly kind of had their falling out. I think that was my least favorite season, but probably because we're so used to them doing their thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember years ago when I told you that they had, hot Cheetos? Hot Cheetos?
Ranch?
Did you know they had an extra hot?
Yeah, you told me that before.
And a black from this show.
Wait, they made it because of the show?
No, I only knew about.
Oh, you only knew about. Okay.
I only knew about the Cheetos in the black bag.
You told me about this. Not that they came from the show, but about the black bag.
Yes, I was like, what are those? And I'd never seen them before. It was like episode 1 or 2 because Issa and Molly sat down and were dipping them in like the Frito, like the ranch dip.
Yeah, you told me that's.
And I was like, is that even good? And I did it. I was like, this is actually pretty fucking good. But I never knew that there were extra flavored hot Cheetos in a black bag.
I mean, I like ranch, but I don't like ranch that much.
It was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I might need to re-earth that. But it ended a couple years ago, this show, five seasons, but I really, really enjoyed it. I actually think I was like,
so it's done.
They had some beautiful men in it too. They really did. Go ahead.
Okay, so in the way I was choosing my shows for this one, I kind of decided to go through the progression of like the shows I watched like through the decades. So Family Matters was probably 90s. My early 2000s show, I started going through and thinking, okay, well, I mean, I watched the Hughleys, I watched D.L. Hughley, I watched Moesha, I watched the Parkers. I'm probably gonna get some flack for this one, but the one I remember the most is this one, One-on-One, where the whole premise is it's a ex-NBA player dad who, I don't remember if it's his wife or like just baby mama, leaves them, but she leaves him with this child who's played by Kyla Pratt. And it's his life raising her as being, he's still famous a little bit. He has a little influence, so he's not always there, but he's still having to raise his daughter. And then, you have her friends a little bit, and you have his tag along who's right here, Dwayne Odell Knox. Like Dwayne and Mark were like hilarious to me. So it was just funny. I always thought Kyla was extremely cute. I remember her from the Proud Family TV show.
Penny Proud.
So like I knew who she was. It kind of was like, oh, I'm in that age where like she was the same age as me during the show, and I kind of resonated with the cast of it. But
she was your girl crush.
She's still cute.
Yeah.
But
I have to say, I've never heard of this show.
It was back when WB was WB before CW. It was on like.
Do you mean UPN?
Oh yes, thank you.
Because it was WB, then it was UPN.
It was UPN.
And then it was.
This is the same time as like Eve.
I feel like UPN. Nobody knew what UPN stands for. I feel like UPN low key was like UPN stands for Urban People's Network because Parker.
I was gonna say the same thing.
One-on-one.
Eve,
and then they threw Buffy on it for whatever reason.
Yep.
So like I was like, well, Buffy came on. Oh, I don't think Buffy went on the UPN until UPN became CW, and they were like, okay, now we can allow whites. Like,
you went there.
I mean, look at the UPN. Look at the lineup of the shows that was on UPN.
But I was watching UPN. Every single show you just listed, I watched.
UPN was sitcom BET was what it was. Okay, BET was music. And UPN was TV shows.
I watched every single one of those shows, but this is the one I remember the most. Out of like Eve and Parker's and Moesha and all of that. This is the one I actually like. Oh, it's Thursday night. I think is when it was on. I was like, let's go like watch One-on-One just because it's a new episode.
For me, I don't. It's hard for me to choose between a lot of these because obviously a lot of these shows are close to my heart. Like when you think about that, I think about Martin. I think about Living Single from the 90s.
Those I don't remember any of those because
they were late for you.
They were late for me.
But
yeah,
like Living Single had Queen Latifah, obviously. Like
beautiful.
Like that show was great. Martin, obviously, Martin Lawrence, Tashina Arnold, Tisha Campbell, like those shows, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like there are so many shows really from the 90s, and I think we have this resurgence now of a lot of shows that are black led that I'm trying to really get into. So it's really hard for me to choose.
Okay.
But I think if I had to go, and I'm slowly kind of looking at this list because I'm seeing so many
of recent
that
shows
are on there that I'm like, oh my God, I love that one. Oh my gosh, I love that one. Oh my gosh, I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would honestly have to go with, I think my brain is going to say, yeah, I'm torn between Living Single and I'm torn between Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. I've seen neither, and I want to go see Atlanta. You told me Atlanta's good.
Yeah, so I'm torn between those two. So I don't know which one I would pick Living Single. You know what? I'll do Atlanta because Living Single was another show that's kind of like Insecure, was about Black women and the Black female experience for the most part. So I'll choose Atlanta because Atlanta to me was a really, really great show. Have I finished it? No, it got weird. And do I plan on finishing it? Yeah, but I've got to get in there. I've got to mentally decide to do that. Oh my God, the game. I sat down one day like 10 years ago and watched a whole day of the game.
And didn't regret any of it, I bet.
I don't know if I did or not. It had one of the sister. Like, come on, because one of them was in that show.
Okay.
But yes, Atlanta was great. I can't say too much about it. I don't want to, keep going down the rabbit hole, but it was great. It introduced me to Zazie Beetz.
That's what introduced you to Zazie Beetz?
Who played Domino on Deadpool 2. Like, it was just really, really great. Brian Tyree Henry has come out of that show. Look at him. Look at how great he's been. Like, Atlanta's great. Like, Atlanta was just a really, really great, cool.
I need to go watch it.
Really kind of weird. You gotta delve into the weirdness in season 2 and 3. Like, it gets really weird.
But you told me it's good.
But yeah,
so I respect your opinion.
I need to finish it, but I would say Atlanta.
So for my third one, like I said, I'm trying to go through like progressively how I've watched. I landed on Empire first because I liked the music. But I didn't. I kind of fell out. I really finished season 1 and fell out in season 2.
Okay. So what's your actual choice?
So I'm gonna go with the one I actually liked watching the whole time, and I'm gonna go with Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
I think it fits. Like I looked at these lists and I was like, Empire. I kind of liked it. Blackish. I get a joke every now and then. I hate to admit that Blackish is probably the reason I know what Juneteenth is.
No, well,
but it's like you didn't know that till recently. Like I should have known a long time ago. But the one I would recommend to people, the one I would want to go back and watch again, the one that I liked the most out of a recent Black-led show would be Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
We had a whole review. Go watch it. I don't want to go too much into it.
Yeah.
It's just good.
I kind of want to rewatch and see if I still feel that way.
I mean, okay, minus the fact of what the lead actor possibly allegedly did or didn't do. I'm not condoning. The show is still good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? Stay tuned for our review of Hulu original, Onyx original, I believe.
Yes.
Unprisoned.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This week we are taking a look at, again, Hulu/Onyx original. I haven't heard of Onyx before. Unprisoned. Plot of this entire show, very like to the point. It follows a therapist and a single mom whose life is turned right side up when her dad gets out of prison and moves to her house to live with her and her teenage son.
Yeah. So the creator of this show is I keep getting her mixed up with Terry McMillan, but it's Tracy McMillan. And this is based on, some true events. I'm not sure if it's all super duper based on true events, but I know that it is based on, like, I don't know how. Well, sorry, word salad. I'm not sure how exact the retelling is, but it is based on true events, I guess is what I would say. And
because the intro says based on some crazy shit, like it never says it's like real. But I guess it is from like a little bit of real life.
But it is based on her because like on Hulu, actually, if you look at the actual synopsis again, it says based on Tracy McMillan, blah 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 blah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't know Tracy did Mad Men or wrote Mad Men. Wrote an episode of Mad Men. Okay. Jumping into cast and crew, I think this is the main reason I kind of picked this show or recommended this show for us to watch. Starting out strong with Kerry Washington playing our main character and therapist, Paige Alexander.
Yeah. We all know who Kerry Washington is. If you do not, let me,
enlighten you.
Let me learn you, share you a little something.
Fair enough.
She's from all over the place. Like, she's been around since way back in the day with, like, Save the Last Dance. Like, she was in that movie.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
But recently, obviously Scandal.
Scandal fame.
Playing Miss Olivia Pope.
Oh,
with the bag and the purse.
Classic.
Well, it's not classic yet. Chill out.
But it is a show that I will recommend to anybody to watch.
Was it uneven? Yeah. But
towards the end, yes.
Yeah, it was very uneven. But it has some heavy hitters. But she was great in it. Like I was like, she kind of helped. Her and Viola Davis kind of helped usher in this Black woman drama TV.
Very much so.
Night, like on ABC, and I was here for it. So yes, I'll watch Kerry Washington basically do anything. Next
we have. He's in every episode, but we don't get a lot about him until later. But Marquis Richardson playing Mal.
Bitch, that's just Mark. Marquis.
It's spelled Marquis, but Mark Richardson.
Marquis would have an I.
Okay.
Marquie, but Marque is Mark.
Mark.
It's Black Mark. It is, y'all. Because like, and I'm
done with this.
I know why you said Marquis. Like I get it. Like I'm not disparaging you. I'm not trying to make you mad, but I'm not trying to be mean. But when I looked at it, I was like, his name was Marquis, and then I look and I'm like, bitch, that's Mark with a QUE on the end.
I'm going back to that episode of like, hey, Aaron.
Cut to 2 months from now, he does an interview. It's like, my name's Marquis Richardson. I'm like, shit. But that's Mark.
But yeah, Mark Richardson playing Mal. He's the parole officer for
her father.
Yeah, for her father.
Yeah. And then we can go into, her father, who is played by Delroy Lindo, and her father's name is Edwin Alexander. Now, Delroy Lindo has been around this block.
Yes, he has.
I'm talking Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm talking.
That's the main one I know him from.
I'm talking recently on TV. He's been on The Good Fight, which is a spinoff of The Good Wife. That's on Paramount Plus right now, still on CBS. Like this man has been in so much shit.
Romeo Must Die, like I said, Gone in 60 Seconds. Sahara. Gosh, This Christmas. I forgot. Like he's in so many things.
Yeah,
he was in Up.
He was a voice girl.
Who was he in Up?
I don't know, but he's been around.
Okay.
And if you don't know who Delroy Lindo is, then you need to learn.
Look him up and learn.
Get familiar with him and Marquis.
And then the only
the only other character I think I would look at would be, that's gonna be fun for you to say. Have fun.
Filet, Valley.
I don't know. Faley?
Like it's ALY. Is it Faley?
Maybe Faley Ricotta Havana.
I probably would have gotten the last name better than first name.
Who plays Finn, and Finn is Paige's daughter. Son.
I'm gonna laugh.
Finn is Paige's son.
I'm gonna laugh when he comes out and he's like, "My name is Falwai."
Why are you taking my jokes and recycling them?
But yeah, plays Finn, which, like you said, is Kerry Washington, or Paige's teenage son, who's never met her father. Mm-hmm. I think he's a junior or sophomore in high school. So he's at an impressionable age, is what they're trying to link to.
I don't know how to say impressionable.
He's a teenage boy with no father figure.
So?
Just because you had a childhood that was...
Just got a childhood what?
That was damaged. I'm joking. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Look at this face.
Go outside and find a brick.
They're building a house across the street.
So there's tons.
There's plenty of bricks over there, sir.
And then really, is her name really Brenda Strong?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? Isn't that one girl's name Brenda Strong?
What one girl?
The Asian girl from Wendy Wu, Homecoming Queen, or Disney Channel, Wendy Wu.
Maybe it's Brenda Strong.
Sweet Life, Zack and Cody.
Is it?
Is her name Brenda Strong too?
All right, I'm looking it up. Keep talking. Brenda Strong.
No, I'm not gonna keep talking. We're gonna find this out right now. Brenda Strong. Brenda Strong plays. I forgot what her name is in the show.
Nadine,
and she was like Paige's dad's like
Brenda's song.
Oh, you can see why I thought that.
It's close enough.
Yeah. I was like
literally one letter off, and they're next to each other in the alphabet.
Yeah. But she's the only other character. Her and like one other character we might just briefly step on. But she plays Nadine, who was Edwin's girlfriend way back in the day when he got put in prison.
Yep.
And now I'm assuming that she's like just kind of well off. She's a lawyer, I believe. And she took care of Paige for like a good 10 years.
Yeah, she was who he left Paige with.
Right. And then I think the only other character we would mention would be, is that Ji Young Han?
Yeah.
Ji Young Han, who plays Esty Nelson. And Esty was one of the Paige's like foster sisters.
I was going to say foster sibling is what I was going to go
foster
with.
sibling makes the best. Like they grew up in the same foster home for a while before she went to be with Nadine.
But sees her as a real sister, like in real life, like in the show.
Right. So this show, really the big synopsis of it is, Edwin has been in and out of prison, in and out of federal prison for, doing shit.
For Paige's whole life.
Right. And this latest stint was like a 17-year stint, I believe.
Yeah. And then I forget, did her mom die or leave?
I don't remember.
I forget why she's not in the picture.
I don't remember.
Okay.
And then he finally gets out and he kind of contacts, obviously they have to contact family, I guess.
Paige picks him up.
Yeah, Paige picks him up and helps him get some stuff, the essentials.
Yep.
Underwear, socks.
Deodorant.
T-shirts.
A cell phone.
Soap. A burner. Yeah.
That's an expensive burner.
Shoes.
But he decides to
glasses if he needs them, or like razors and like the shaving cream, not the really good shaving cream, but like that, like the Barbasol,
the shit Gillette,
like
Gillette stuff,
the Barbasol shaving cream,
yeah,
and not just that, because he is bald, so he needs to have something he can put on his head as well, so that he's obviously also a black man, so she had to get a lotion, like maybe Jergens or the Vaseline kind, where it's just really, really moisturizing to keep that up. And then did I say underwear already?
You did.
Okay. So then also he might need shoes. Did we say shoes?
No shoes.
He needs shoes.
But I think it came out with shoes. We had shoes.
Yeah, but maybe like a different pair, because we have weather things. It could be hot.
Sure.
It could be like, cold. So
they're living in oh my God, where are they living?
Minneapolis?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so it gets cold, so maybe a jacket, a light jacket.
Yeah.
And what else was that? It? Was that all she got?
I mean, I would assume she got a lot less than that because he walked out that store with like a bag and a half in his hand.
Why are you gonna make me go through all that at the end? Whatever.
But when he gets out, like we said, Paige picks him up, meets Mal, kind of goes through the expectations for what he needs to do for his rehabilitation.
Right.
But Edwin decides he's going to move in with some of his old friends from the life when he got put in.
Right, because Paige doesn't want to let him live with her. She doesn't want to take on that responsibility. But I believe, before...
Well, she's not ready to forgive him. So she's not ready to have him in her life kind of thing. Right.
And he chose to do that. I believe that... Because we do meet Mal, who's his parole officer, and he's like, it's better if he stays with you, to get some feet. And she's like, nah, kid. And... I've got a teenager home.
I forgot. Yes, that's another reason she gives is I don't want him to meet Finn.
Right, but I believe that Edwin was like, "No, I don't need that. I'll just go stay where I stayed before."
Yep.
And then we learn by the end of the episode, Edwin is like, "This is not.
Well,
I'm not gonna survive here."
Literally, like when you walk in to where he's supposed to be living, and he has there's a gun on the table, automatic parole violation. They're counting money from something over on the table, violation.
Right.
Like there's weed being smoked over here. There's so many violations, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You can't survive in that if you're trying to rehabilitate yourself.
Right. So that's where he shows up at Paige's doorstep and is like, I'd like to stay, with you. I can't stay there. And she lets him in. So the rest of the show is really them trying to deal with, him staying with her, the things that happen while they're staying together.
Yeah.
Obviously she's a therapist. She goes on, Instagram Live a lot and really talking through these things. She currently is also sleeping with a guy named Bill, played by Tim Daly, who might I say, can
I, real quick before you say something, this is my comment I took from this. Kerry Washington loves an unavailable older white man.
Can I say it? Can I say it? Actually, you were right. You were there. Now, does Tony go and win for being most attractive out of those two? Yeah, but I will say that like Kerry Washington got some good taste. These older white men.
She has a type.
Let me say, her characters have types.
Well,
her characters like I would love an unavailable, attractive white man, please.
An elderly who has some money to spoil me.
What do you have? What do you have in that? What do you have in? Can I get that binder, please?
Like I need him a little more gray. Perfect, right there.
Yeah, Tim Daly was pretty cute.
Yeah, you could tell he definitely kept tight, but
obviously, he's an unavailable.
Yeah,
like I'm divorcing my wife. Like that's where we are with that.
But that's where but Edwin comes in and from experience, game recognizes game. He comes in as like, does he tell you everything he wants to, and doesn't lie to you? Yeah, he never lies to me. You a side piece. Like he instantly is like, you a side piece, you was jump off, whatever, all the terminology he used. Mm-hmm. You are not important to him. You are a fling and something fun to do.
Yeah, and a lot of that is also her trying to fight with that. It's like you cannot, a lot of the tension that comes through in the show is because it's like, why you're trying to teach me shit now? You weren't there to teach me any of this bullshit when I was a kid, but now you want to tell me this is how things are supposed to be, and you expect me to just like go along with that, or to be like, oh yes, I trust that, or what have you.
Well, and I have to say, Edwin does do a really good job at fathering. Like he's got good insights, but he does it so much easier with Finn. I feel like that guy dynamic is a lot easier for him to get into.
I don't think it's that. What I think of is that between him and Paige, there's a wall. Mm-hmm. That obviously is his fault because he put it up because he kept going to jail.
Yeah.
And him and Finn really have a very clean slate. Yeah, Finn has heard about, stuff, but he doesn't have any resentment toward this man he's never met before. Well, and so they start off. Edwin gets to start from the starting line. He's not starting behind like he is with Paige. He gets to start there and go, hey, this relationship right now that we're going to have starts right now. And it started off very well because he knows, I think, like you said, he does have great instincts. Mm-hmm. And the instincts he has, the things he's saying to Paige are correct and are right. But they're starting way back here with the trust, way back here with the relationship, where now with Finn, he can say, he says something to Finn's like, oh, that makes sense. And they can build that.
Well, and I guess at that point, I do, like, after going through the show, you do see how Finn honestly sees him legitimately trying, where he doesn't, like, what Paige has that, like, bitterness, and she doesn't believe he's actually trying. Like, when he gets a job at the Parmesan Garden and gets let go, Finn witnesses all that.
Yeah, I think he just feels bad, but again, it's the
from starting point. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he obviously, like as we were saying, he built the relationship with Finn, who, I mean, we have an episode where we really kind of deal with like colorism.
Ooh. That one got deep.
Where, when we look at the cast lineup, like Delroy Lindo, Edwin is like dark. Like a dark skinned black man.
Just like Mal, very dark.
Maybe my color, maybe a little bit darker. Mm-hmm. And then we get to Paige, and she's kind of like more of a caramel
mocha-y kind of, she's a little lighter.
And then Finn is what we would call kind of passable. You really could look at him and you really wouldn't know. You really be kind of like, he could be a white kid. He could be a mixed kid. So he's so kind of like on that line.
Yeah.
So they go to like Alabama, I believe it is.
Yeah, to Edwin's house when he was a kid.
Right, looking for his birth certificate, and social security number, and stuff like that. And one of the people in the episode one of the white people in the episode makes kind of a racial slur to Finn, not at Finn, but to Finn, assuming that they're the same kind of people.
Yes, in reference to Edwin, Paige, and the people around.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where we really see some of that colorism come into place of where, depending, you could be black, but depending on the shade of your skin, you could be treated completely different.
Exactly. Well, and that one, that's probably the episode I would recommend. If you watch any of these, that's the episode I'd recommend probably to watch.
Yeah, I've never heard of Negressence.
I didn't either until here, but I mean, like, watching it and seeing what you would have to have experienced as a child in the 90s, nonetheless. Like early, like Edwin, like in like the show.
I was like, me?
No. It's like maybe like in like the late 80s, early 90s. The fact that he was still dealing with some of the shit that you would assume has been gone for so many years. Like you don't like you see Finn go, oh, that was actually kind of recent that you were dealing with segregation and all this other stuff. Like it's kind of eye opening to like witness that and learn that, because even Finn didn't know that was a thing still.
Yeah, I think I don't want. My brain wants to go like deep into something, but I don't want to go that deep. But regardless, like civil rights and stuff is still a very recent issue. It's not something that is. I will say this one thing, and I think that the emergence now where people are like racism, like it hasn't been here this whole time, is really stupid to me. You cannot say that something like something like civil rights movement that was barely 60 years ago, you're telling me that ended racism, and the fact that people are using that as the reasoning is fucking stupid to me. So that's kind of where we're going with that. Like it doesn't make any sense. But
I will say this show this show did have some political commentary on a couple of subjects of reformation or like reform for people who are out of the like prison.
Right.
They had the
obviously
the
Edwin
things,
runs into some issues trying to find a job because obviously he's a convicted felon, and some jobs won't allow you to hire convicted felons. So he runs into that, which is what a lot of these bills come from, where they were talking about marijuana starting to get, legalized in certain states.
Yep.
And then it's like, why don't we decriminalize this now for people who are in prison with a felony charge on their record for having marijuana, and now it's legal in a lot of places? Why are we not decriminalizing that, or not giving them a chance to like not have that felony on their record? Like, because when they do get out for marijuana possession, it's like they can barely get a job now. Barely, because it's on their record.
Well,
so yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff.
And then, I mean, the big one, again, political commentary that I saw was again in that episode where they go to Alabama, where he's trying to get his birth certificate and they actually find it in the courthouse. But it's the whole fact that he doesn't have a license. To get his license, he has a birth certificate, but he needs his license to get his birth certificate. Right. And it's just like, there's so many like loopholes of you're never going to be able to, pull yourself back up after getting out of prison. My only question about this, and this is where I don't know the system, can a person...
Because I do.
Well, and I'm going to pose this because it's something I was wondering. Can a person only request their own birth certificate? Could Paige not have asked for a copy of her dad's birth certificate and used her ID to get a copy?
I don't know. But as the guys, I would think it would depend on the state.
And that's right. Like you said, the verbiage they used was you have to have an ID to get a copy of this documentation.
But I'm pretty sure he said in this state.
True, but that's where...
In this county. In this county.
Which is where I don't believe, and again, based on the state and how your systems are set up, other counties may not have access to your records. So again, though, if I say my grandfather dies tomorrow and I had to go get a copy of his birth certificate for some reason, could I not request that?
I don't know, because I feel like I requested a copy.
I mean, not when he doesn't, but like
I feel like I requested a copy of my birth certificate when I wanted to get my passport.
Yeah,
I had to have the original. And I feel like I requested it, but I don't remember how I requested it. I don't remember if I had to like send a copy of something. I don't remember how I went online. Did it.
I did the same thing, but again, it may have been at different times. I went online and requested a copy be mailed to me, and literally all it took was my driver's license number. I had to put the information into the website, but I did it all online.
Yeah, I don't remember. And plus, we don't know if this show is like supposed to be like recent, or if this is
very
like
true
2000s. So I didn't even think about that aspect.
Very
of
true.
it as well.
But that was one thing. On that one episode, I was like, could Paige not have requested this and use her ID to get her dad's birth certificate?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I was wondering. At the point you've already made the guy suspicious, he's not going to do it. He'll probably but in the long run, could you not have been like, can my daughter request this? Like, she's here.
I think at that point they'd have been like, no, because we know what you're doing right now. It's the same thing as like if you walk into a liquor store and you're like with your friend and you're like, oh fuck, I forgot my ID. This person will get it, and that person at that counter is probably going to be like, I need
both of your IDs.
I can't now.
Yeah.
Because now I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even if you are over 21, like how much trouble can I get in? Like, there's that situation.
Exactly.
But in this show though, if I can say that, like, I really do think every person in the show did a very, very, very good job. I think the performance that's going to stick with me the most really is Delroy Lindo.
Oh, 100%.
If I'm going Bay of the Week, honestly, Delroy Lindo, and I mean closely followed by Kerry Washington, also closely followed by Finn, also closely followed by Nick. Every scene Nadine was in,
Can I say, and this is gonna come off, she keeps it tight for a 65-year-old.
Oh yeah, she's been on the ship.
Yeah.
There's bush in here. Be warned.
Oof. Yeah. The only
like a literal one.
The only actor I had an issue with was the little page, talking to your inner child.
If I'm gonna say this really quickly.
Yeah,
that was the only part of the show that I really kind of didn't get I understood at the end. I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
but I didn't love that part of it.
And again, I've been talking about the Alabama one where she then sees her dad's inner child, and he comes up and it was just, I get where you were going with it. It just didn't land with me.
Yeah, same here. But with that being said, for me, I would say I'm kind of going right into this.
Go ahead.
I would say watch this show. It was a show that really made you feel a little bit. It definitely gave me I definitely teared up a few times over some stuff, and it was just so well written, just so well acted, and I really just super duper duper enjoyed it. Plus, Mark Richardson. I know I'm a Kerry Washington character where I prefer an older, well-off, attractive, unavailable white man.
There you
go. But Mark Richardson can fucking get it. He is gorgeous. I want his haircut.
His hair was nice.
I like his hair. Oh,
I don't know how you would look with blonde tips.
No, his haircut in the show.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I'm looking at this right now.
You're looking at what right now?
His little screenshot from IMDb.
That's not the haircut
I understand, but I'm also looking at this. I feel like you could do that too.
No, but I think you should watch it. I really enjoyed the show. It really gave me some good feelings, some hard feelings. It was just written and acted very well. What do you think?
You're gonna hate me for my response. I appreciated what the show was and what it was trying to do. I made a point. I didn't make a point. I stopped watching after episode 6. I didn't watch the last 2. I didn't finish it. I got bored. It was almost like I had to force myself through it. But I appreciate the messages it brought to light and talked about. But after you went through the Alabama episode and kind of all that, and how I saw where it was going, because she started looking up the pictures of Bill again, and I just can't do this. It was just too much for me, and I didn't enjoy it towards the end, so I'm gonna go for not watch.
Okay, makes sense,
yeah.
Or not makes sense, but that's you.
Yeah,
as we decided.
I said you're gonna judge me.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you at all, because everybody has their own opinion. That's what this is for.
Yeah,
are there times when you are objectively incorrect? Yeah, but I'm not going to say that this time. If you're objectively incorrect, I'm going to say it.
No, but that's just, I felt like there wasn't much to offer for the show, at least in my opinion. I did read how it ended. I didn't watch it, so I took 10 minutes to read how it ended. I don't feel like I missed anything not watching the last 2 episodes.
Okay.
I watched the important parts in my mind.
Okay.
We can talk about it off the camera, spoiler stuff, but
I don't need to.
That's
fine. That's your opinion.
So I don't think it's a watch.
Just as mine is watch it, but that's what we're here for.
Okay.
So
split decision, except on the Bay of the Week, obviously.
Yeah, I watch him in anything too. He's great. So you guys, again, as a reminder, if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you go to the episode page, answer the questions. If we decide to put one on there, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But get in the habit of doing that. Also, make sure that you go in and do a review as well. If you're listening to this on any, pod or any, if you're Apple Podcast, whatever you're listening to,
wherever you listen to podcasts,
make sure you guys throw a review out there. Either just say thumbs up or great great exclamation point.
Just throw 5 stars on there for us.
Yeah, and you don't have to write anything. It takes you exactly 3 seconds to do it. Please, 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 just make sure you guys do that for us. It would be so nice. And if you don't, then you're homophobic and a racist.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening.
I made every word too.
Wow. You can do jazz hands this time?
Tell me a story. Tell me a story. Tell me a story. I mean, it's legendary. All right, you guys. We will talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
Interact and give us suggestions on what to watch at watchornotpodcast@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Twitter at watchornot_pod.
And don't forget about Instagram, you guys, at watchornotpod.
Don't forget you can support the pod by joining our Patreon at Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
And subscribe and leave a review wherever you guys listen to podcasts. Talk to you soon.